day, everybody. My name is Samuel Drosharo. I'm a senior lecturer at the Department of Animal Breeding and Genetics, Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, Ogun State in Nigeria. I'm also a postdoctoral scholar at Indiana University, Indianapolis in the US. And my area of research is animal welfare and behavior. I work on behavior and welfare of insects and poultry. You are all welcome to Animal Welfare Group Nigeria with the acronym AWGN. AWGN was founded in 2019 after a gathering of students and lecturers at the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, Ogun State in Nigeria. And for this group, we have 3 missions. The first mission is to increase awareness about animal behavior and welfare in Nigeria, Africa, and the world at large. The second mission is to foster collaboration and networking among researchers who are into animal behavior and welfare. And the third is to educate the public about the importance of animal welfare. We meet every first and third Wednesdays to discuss issues that are related to animal behavior and welfare. People from different parts of the world have presented on issues that are related to ethical practices, slaughtering, fear, stress, cognition, neuroscience, archery practices, behavioral genetics, worm welfare, insect welfare, the role of religion in animal welfare, in livestock, pet, wildlife, and fish. And today's presenter is Professor Olawale Adebowale from Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, Ogun State in Nigeria. Professor Olawale Adebowale will be talking on biosecurity threats and preventive measures against free mobility of backyard poultry management and exposition from Nigeria. Today's moderator is Dr. Matthew Weto from Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, Ogun State in Nigeria. So I will hand over to Dr. Weto to continue.
Thank you so much, Dr. Drosharo, for that wonderful introduction. Once again, I welcome us to Animal Welfare Group Nigeria. Please, before I introduce the presenter, I want to also tell us that if you have, as the presentation is ongoing, if you have any question, you should use the chat box for your question. After the presentation, your question will be looked into. I also want to wish myself a happy birthday. Today is my 50th birthday. I'm celebrating my golden jubilee. So let's go. Professor Olawale Adebowale is a lecturer and research scientist in agricultural innovation, development, and knowledge communication. He began his lecturing and research career in November 2003 as an assistant lecturer in the Department of Agricultural Extension and Rural Development at the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, Nigeria. Based on the philosophy extension practice that emphasizes the need for extension practitioners to work in a network of systems for appropriate development of knowledge that could enable change. His research focus has spread across the subsector of agricultural system, working in conjunction with researchers in animal, soil, crop, human nutrition, and post-harvest handling discipline. His passion has largely been on making research development relevant to the need of the immediate society and disseminating the output of such research to enable social and economic development of the large society and attainment of quality life. This research dynamic informs his focus on understanding animal behavior and behavioral communication and educating livestock keepers on this for better farm animal management and sustainable profitable production. Permits me to welcome Professor Olawale Adebowale to present his webinar titled Biosecurity Threats and Preventive Measures Against Free Mobility of Backyard Poultry Management. Thank you so much, sir. You're welcome for the presentation. Thank you.
So, Prof, you can start.
Okay. It is my pleasure to have this presentation at this Animal Welfare Group Nigeria webinar series with the title Biosecurity Threats and Preventive Measures Against Free Mobility of Backyard Poultry Management, and exposition from Nigeria. Backyard poultry management is a common practice among low-income households in Nigeria, as you can see in the picture, with most of them keeping a number of birds within their residence and providing them with modest shelter, feed, water, and of course, allowing the birds or animal to move about. So the free range system takes form either as extensive or semi-intensive management. So for the extensive, the animal are allowed to roam freely, fend for themselves, but with semi-intensive, so a measure of animal care is provided, ranging from shelter to production of feed. So, but one thing that is of import in this system of poultry management is that free-range system reflects the principle of animal welfare, which allow or expect animals to be able to express their natural behavior or to demonstrate their natural instincts. In the case of poultry, particularly local or indigenous chicken, the birds on free range or managed at the backyard are able to roam about, they're able to scratch the soil, they're able to flap their wings and even perch on high places. Also, they bathe in the dust and also peck around. So while this system of management provide the animal the natural environment to demonstrate their natural being and reducing confinement stress, there are issues in this system of management, and that is what I look at as biosecurity threats to the animal. First, I'll be taking the concept of biosecurity is simply about ensuring the safety of living things, protecting them against infectious diseases, parasite, pests, or to ensure that they are free of concern about sickness or disease. Then biosecurity threats, on the other hand, is simply put as anything that undermines the well-being or safety of life. Just as we know that biosecurity is about ensuring safety or guarantee well-being. So anything that threatens that safety or well-being of life is considered to be biosecurity threat. In the world of animal scientists, biosecurity literally focus on protection of livestock against transmission of infectious diseases, parasites, and pests, often in the form of vaccination, medication for the birds or animal, ensuring sanitation and hygiene practices, and in some cases, quarantining newly brought animal or animal that is infected. That perspective of biosecurity management is influenced by the modern day system of poultry management, whereby, say, birds are kept in cages or in litters where they cannot move about. So the focus here is about infectious diseases. But in the real world of backyard poultry management, the two systems differs. So while in the modern poultry management system, birds are confined, in the backyard poultry management system, the birds are able to move freely, and sometimes they may be provided with shelter or not. So based on that, biosecurity in backyard poultry is wider than what the modern one face. So while the issue of pests and diseases cannot be played down in the backyard poultry management, the obvious biosecurity threats that gain attention of keepers than infestation of pests and diseases. So what I'm putting up here is that if animal is infected with disease, the keeper may not take note or may not bother or take any action. But there are threats that they would normally take action, which is the focus of this discussion. So notable biosecurity threats to free mobility and the desire or deserved welfare of backyard poultry include attacks by snakes, rats, pets, which could be mostly dogs or cats, preying birds, soldier ants, and of course, pale rage. So these are common threats to backyard poultry management. So for the snakes, snake threatens by eating up the eggs. When the chicken lay eggs around, it attracts snakes in places which come up in the night to eat up the eggs. Sometimes the snake may need to chase away the mother hen or even kill the mother hen so as to be able to eat up the eggs. And then even when the chicks are able to come to life, they are not yet safe from the snake. The snake are still after them. And of course, mother hen will always want to protect. And in some cases, they may have to pay for the consequence because the snake do attack the mother hen as well. Then for the rats, for those birds that are kept in cages, once they get access, they kill them, biting, trying to feed on their intestine. Even the ones that are not in cages, that have to perch on a platform overnight, the rats too do come and attack them as well. So soldier ants walk around in the night and they eventually attack chicks and devour them, as you can see in the picture. Then the preying birds are not left out, as you can see the mother hen protecting the chicks when the hawks or owl or any preying birds come around. Some chicks may be taken away eventually, while the mother hen try as much as possible to protect most of the chicks. Pets are also major threats. So cats or dogs, so they also attack chicken, whether they are in cages or they are moving freely. Once they are able to get access, they attack the birds. It could be pets kept at home or the straying pets that comes from elsewhere. And pilferage simply means stealing of chicken, whether in the daytime or overnight. This is also a major threat to welfare of the chicken. With this, the cost implication of biosecurity threats include loss of birds, loss of passive income, because some of those birds are sold at times for the owners to get some income. So if the birds are stolen or are killed by preying animals, then that source of income is lost. It also resulted in wasted resources like invested money, time, and effort. It's also a disruption of social safety net. Social safety net simply means it's like your bank. You have kept some money, and when you actually needed the money, you can't find the money. So those chicken are actually in place either for provision of quality nutrition or to gain some income. So this is disrupted when actually they are needed. So as you can see, it's also loss of nutritional quality, psychological trauma to the keepers if the birds are lost, and discouragement to continue keeping the animals like that. So in order to prevent that, then preventive measures are put in place by the keepers. And for the snakes, some of them indicated that they throw poison meat around. Some say they boil egg so that when the snake takes it up, eats it up, it's not able to, it will not be easy to swallow like the raw one. And with that, they can quickly get there to kill them if they are around. And some say they will insert pins in the egg or in the meat so that when it is swallowed by the snake, it could strangle the snake to death. And of course, vigilance. So the owner needs to keep awake, listening to the distress call by the birds so that they can take action. For the rats, also they set traps for them, poison meat, use of rat-proof cages, and also vigilance. For the soldier ants, some of them say they do spread around used engine oil or smear it on the frame of the cages so that they can't climb, they can't come in, or some will stand the cage in the pool of used engine oil, because we know that that definitely suffocates the ants if they come in contact with it. Some go to the extent of making use of insecticide, and some will have to inflame the ants either by burning rags, leaves, anything that is combustible that they can use to inflame the ants, and then spreading of baking soda around. Sanitation and hygiene practice is another way to control soldier ants. For the preying birds, chicks are mostly kept in cages, while the mother hen is left to roam about around the cages, or some will pile up used tires of vehicle, maybe about 4 or 5 of such. The chicks will be inside. The mother hen could jump in and out. Of course, that it will not be so easy for preying birds to come into the tire to pick the chicks. And some say they paint the chicks so that they do not become visible to the preying birds. For the pets, so it's either the chickens are caged or the pets are caged if you are the owner. And then for the straying one, they need to fence off or do anything to ensure that no straying pets come into the yard to feed on the chicken. Pair bridge. This is the most difficult to control, except that the owner will have to be at alert, to be vigilant, so that if anyone comes in, they could quickly come up to challenge such ones. So, in conclusion, backyard poultry management system remains a viable practice to enhance the welfare of birds because it allows them to express their natural being, which is what animal welfare is part of. But the practice has its challenges, which we have just highlighted, the biosecurity threat. So, for sustainable production of backyard poultry, preventive measures need to be put in place so as to save the animal. This is necessary. If we put preventive measures in place, it will ensure the safety and well-being of the birds. It will guarantee nutritional security for the keepers. It enhances economic viability of the keepers. So thank you for your rapt attention.
Thank you very much, Professor Kaladi. While we are expecting people to drop their questions, I have like 5 questions for you. I hope there are not too many.
Okay,
So
sir.
I'm interested in the part where poisons are used against predators.
Okay.
Are there incidences where we have the poultry itself eating the poison?
Yeah, the possibility is there. The possibility is there because local birds especially feeds on anything, and that definitely will constitute danger to them. So in attempt to save the birds, we may invariably harm them. But what some of them in the course of interaction says is that once they do that, they come around early because mostly they will do that in the night because snakes, rats, they do come up in the night, not necessarily in the day. Snake could come in the day when it is absolutely silent, but they do that in the night, and when it is daybreak, they go around to check so as to remove them before the birds start running about as expected.
Is it a practice you will recommend based on safety?
Well, it's like my what I presented now are indigenously developed idea or a way to control the predators. So that's what the keepers have been doing for some time in order to guarantee the safety of their birds. Well, if for as long as they are able to take precautionary measures, like as some of them say that they will do it in the night and in the daybreak, they are there to take them away so that it doesn't constitute danger to the birds. So we cannot really dissuade them, but the only thing is that precautionary measures of ensuring that it is done in the night when the birds are resting needs to be stopped to.
Thank you very much. When I was looking at your presentation, I saw the issue of piffling, people trying to steal backyard poultry. And
Yes.
as a Nigerian or as an African, had there traditional ways to control piffling of backyard? Something like it.
As I put it, you can see the slide. As I put it, is the most difficult threat to control. I'm putting it up again. Is the most difficult biosecurity threat to control because you cannot stay there 24 hours because of backyard poultry. But the only thing is that vigilance, because those who does that also come in the night. So the owners, and of course, if you come into birds in the night and you grab them, they will give a distressing noise that may alert the owner. So the measure they have all agree with is it's vigilance.
Yeah. I just want to know. So, what role does farmer education and awareness play in strengthening biosecurity in backyard poultry management?
Sorry, I didn't get the question well.
The question is, what role does farmer education and awareness play in strengthening biosecurity of backyard poultry?
It's educating the farmers on biosecurity is very crucial because, like I said the other time at the beginning of the presentation, or maybe in the middle, I mean, when the animal are infected either by pests, parasites, or disease, it's not always obvious. It's not so obvious to the farmers. It is when the bird is at the point of death that the keepers realize that something is wrong with this bird. So they hardly, but to take action may be too late at that time. Therefore, other ones that have presented, those ones are obvious to them, and they are quick to react. So in this wise, educating the farmers on the care of the birds is very important to guarantee the biosecurity of the birds, particularly educating them on looking out on symptoms, signs to look out for before the birds get to a point of no remedy. And in addition to the obvious ones they are doing, so education matters a lot, informing them on possible dangers and action to be taken. So if they are able to do that, then and they are able to, and they also follow, then they can always guarantee the welfare of their birds for as long as they are keeping them.
Thank you very much, Prof. Emmanuel Fatola is asking that you mentioned the use of used oil to prevent soldier ants in poultry management. And he's asking that from one earth perspective, could this be considered eco-friendly enough?
Well, it's still eco-friendly in the sense that is not the oil, the usage of the oil is not to the extent of having oil spillage. So it's just the same way as we make use of insecticide. Of course, we know that it is poisonous, but if we use it in moderation, it has little or no danger to the environment. It's only oil. The usage of oil is where you have a oil spillage, and that definitely cannot come up in the way soldier ants are controlled, because soldier ants are season, and it is during that period the owners also come up with that strategy. And once the season is off, the soldier ants are not coming, and usage of engine oil as well. And so it has little or no effect on the environment or on health.
Okay, what you are trying to say is that the quantity used cannot cause pollution. Am I correct, sir?
Sure.
Okay. So I think I've asked this question, but Francis Adepoju is asking again that the use of poison for eliminating predators, that what is the impact on hair quality
On,
and quality of meat,
yes.
and
I didn't
how
get,
easily are they degradable?
no, you
The-
mean the poisoned meat?
yes.
Uh, well, uh, I've not conducted scientific research in that regard, but ordinarily, uh, it takes a few days for meat to decay, because if you leave it out there, before you know it, uh, worms, maggots are coming up to feed on it to decay it. So I don't think it's the poison in the meat that has anything to do with decaying of the meat. Naturally, meat is biodegradable, and once it's degraded, whether it is poison or not, then everything is gone. But when you ask, if care is not taken, the possible danger is that the birds may feed on it. So, but for the owners, since they are aware of that, they come up. Not only because of the birds, not only to prevent the bird from eating the poison meat, even because of young children that may walk around and so on. So that's why they said they do it in the night, and as early as possible, they are there to discuss them so as to avoid unnecessary health implication or danger.
Thank you very much, Prof. Barnabas is asking that you mentioned that dogs and cats are predators of backyard poultry.
Sure.
He's not asking that, don't you think they can also be used for security of this backyard poultry?
That's a that's the paradox in there. Cats and dogs, because uh based on my interaction, someone said rats, because rats are coming in to feed on birds. That's why you have to have cats around so that they can help to tame the rats. Cat feeds on rats with ease, but that definitely works when you have a modern poultry management system. Your birds are in the cage. You have your dog also in your yard. Your birds are in the cage. But if they are to roam about, then they may have to be food for them. Instead of protecting them, they may have to feed on them. Except in some cases, maybe if the dogs and cats are well tamed to recognize the birds, maybe that may work out. But if it is used for security purpose, then it means the birds will have to be in the cage, not roaming about.
But Barnabas is saying, for example, the use of trained dogs in guarding flock of sheep. So
Yes,
this variant, the dog is roaming with the poultry species.
yeah, that's what I made reference to that. That if the pets are well tamed or trained to recognize the birds and the purpose for which they are there to protect them, so that may be on safer side. So if not, then the birds will have to be in the cage. but a reference to the sheepdog, because they are mostly used in sheep farm. So they refer to them as sheepdog. So they are specifically trained to guard the movement of the sheep to whatever direction the farmers want them to go. So it means if they want to guard the backyard poultry, if they are the ones to move about, then it means that dog or cats must have been well trained to recognize that purpose. So, but in our African setting, I don't see how that is working for now.
Thank you very much. When I was young, I used to see that our parents used to paint the chicks against area predators.
Yes.
In terms of 100%, do you think that is, how effective is that? Because I discovered that sometimes they paint these chicks and hawks will still come and pick them.
Thank you. That's their presentation. And I believe that, like I said, my presentation is based on their responses. But for scientists, that needs to be empirically proven. So we'll need to gather chicks, paint them, let them roam about and see whether they will be picked by hawk or not. But I know just from my own perspective, I believe that the painting is for identification purpose. But many of them say they also paint so that it causes a kind of confusion for praying birds. And that is what brings the intuition that this could be experimented by getting a handful of chicks, paint them, put them in the yard, and see whether praying birds will pick them or not. So 100%, I have doubts about that. I have doubts that it will be confusing to the bird, praying birds. So unless we carried out experiments on that before we are able to ascertain whether what the keepers are saying are right in this regard or not.
Thank you very much. I know they believe that it is effective, but I have seen these predators coming to pick these painted chicks.
That's the thing.
Kind of conclusion that it is not always effective.
No, I agree. Like I said, I doubt the efficacy of that concept, because this bird, the praying bird, picks on other smaller birds, and we have them of various colors. So if they could do that to these birds, I don't see how painting of the chicken could deter them from coming to pick them. But nevertheless, it is something that could be subjected to experiment.
Thank you very much. So, what challenges exist in getting smallholder farmers to adopt strict biosecurity measures? Are there challenges? Do we have some? Okay.
Of course, the major challenge is that, in Africa setting, or let me say Nigeria to be specific, people do not see animal as something to be really cared for. And that's why we have the dictum that the love we express for chicken is not a deep one. It's just because of the benefits we are getting. So those who are keeping animals mostly are doing that for the purpose of the gain they want. And most especially when they don't put it on commercial scale. They see it as just let it be there. If it's able to survive or not. Some of them will even say, how much is the chicken compared to what it will cost me to provide medication? So it's a major challenge in that regard. So it is only when people become educated and they begin to see animal as the same way as we see human, then that's when we can begin to see that backyard animal rearing could be well managed to fit into the concept and principles of biosecurity.
Thank you very much. So what is the balance between animal welfare and strict biosecurity measures?
Well, when we talk about strict biosecurity measures, it still does not deprive the animal of expressing their natural being. Because security is like human. We want security, want to be secured at all time. At the same time, we still want to express our natural being. So it is with farm animal. So sometimes, like if we need to cage the animal, we may say that they are not able to move freely. So likewise for humans, sometimes you may need to be indoor, even though it's not convenient for you, but because of security. So it's just like during the lockdown of COVID. It's never convenient for people to stay indoor all through. But because of safety and security, people have to do that. So in that wise too, strict biosecurity will not in any way deprive the animal expressing their welfare, except as we have in a modern system of poultry management, where the birds are perpetually confined in cages or deep litter. So within the because that becomes micro environment for them, so they may still be able to express some of their natural behavior to the extent that that microenvironment allows them.
Thank you very much. From the farmers that you have talked to, are there any surveillance system for monitoring diseases in backyard poultry flocks?
Not at all. Not at all. They are not that advanced. So their own surveillance system is to be vigilant on their own.
Okay.
So it's just to be on the lookout if anyone is intruding or not. But in terms of device, not at all. They don't have that.
So when there is disease, how do they control the disease? Are there traditional ways they use to control
like I said, in most cases, it is when the birds are at the point of no remedy that they realize that something is wrong. So, and in most cases, they will say, let's quickly slaughter the birds so that it doesn't get wasted. So, but in some cases, they may note if they know that the bird is weak, they will normally try their traditional efforts. Some will say, okay, let's give it pepper. Some will say, let's give it maybe all these paracetamol and so on. But because they are local, no one dares to get a vet service for them. They believe that it doesn't worth it. So whatever they are able to do on their own in terms of management, they know that the worst, if the bird is going to die, then we slaughter it and eat so that we don't lose completely.
Thank you very much. Another question will be, do we have some cultural practices that predispose this bird to disease? Maybe the way some people live
Well, of course, well, I won't say that because you see, there is one thing I observe about our indigenous birds. They seems to be naturally gifted in terms of immunity. So their immunity is so strong that irrespective of the environment they find themselves, they survive, except if they are actually infected, maybe by disease from the air, from water, from food, or from maybe wild birds coming up, or if they are attacked by other poisonous, maybe insect or and so on. That is when you see them dying about. So, but for cultural practice, I've not come across any because the birds move about anywhere they find whatever they can eat. They go there, they come back, and they survive.
So thank you very much, Prof. So what do you see as the role of government in ensuring the welfare of this backyard poultry?
Well,
Does government have any role to play?
Government may not have a direct role to play in this regard, except for the fact that whoever wants to keep animal, the law allows keeping of this domestic animal in the backyard. The law allows that already. And where government also comes in is that regulation that whoever is keeping the animal should still maintain hygienic practices and have their animal within their own controlled environment so that the animal doesn't go to inflict on other people in the neighborhood, because that's an issue on its own. Maybe if I have opportunity, maybe that's what I'll be presenting another time. So that the animal now become an element of conflict between owners and non-owner. So in that wise, government also can come in. When I say government, it does not mean government at national level, even at community level. This time around, they can always have a amicable way of resolving such a conflict. So, but whatever in terms from the national government is the animal policy, that is, you can have domestic animal at the back of your yard, but ensure that it doesn't encroach in the neighborhood.
Thank you. One last question from me. This is a funny question. In what way can we preach the gospel of animal welfare to these backyard poultry farmers? Because people will tell you that what is important to them is human welfare, not chicken welfare or turkey welfare. So how can we preach animal welfare? How can we convince them that the welfare of this backyard poultry is very important?
Thank you from that perspective of gospel, and is truly biblical, because in the book of Proverbs, maybe chapter 6, verse 9 says that the righteous one takes care of his animal. If you cannot take care of the animal, it is a sin for you to keep them. So maybe if you come from religious perspective, and then the religious leader will begin to show this aspect from the scripture to people, then they will know that just as we have our children as how do the scripture put it, they are custody in our care. The same way animals are custody in our care. So we are expected to take care of the animal. So culturally, it says that the culture says that anyone that tethers goats certainly knows that it must provide what to eat for it. That's the simple logic, that if you are to keep animals, then the onus is on you to provide for animal in all aspects. People may only think of providing food for the animal, but a group like this could also come in to let them know that it's beyond providing food. So it also has to do with ensuring their safety, their well-being, so that the animal could feel well. And it's not only to the advantage of the animal. If you give such welfareism, it's to your advantage, because when the animal is okay, then is a nutrition and income guarantee for you as owner.
Thank you, Prof, for that wonderful presentation. I was able to learn a lot. People can follow us on our social media. On Facebook and LinkedIn, we have Animal Welfare Group Nigeria. And you can also watch some past webinars on our YouTube channel. Then our Twitter handle, that's X, is at AWGN14. AWGN in capital letter and 14 in number. And before we go, we should not forget that the welfare of animals is more than health. It involves their nutrition, the environment, their behavior, and their mental state. And there must be balance among all these 5. So we should not forget about that. So I will see you next time for our presentation. Thank you, Emmanuel, for joining us. Thank you, Fami. Thank you, Ladejobia Fusat. Thank you, Babalola Barnabas. Victor Yeneo, thank you so much. Dr. Maje Kodumi, thank you so much. Kenfon, thank you so much. Kwada, I think Kwada is from Ghana. Thank you so much. Asiza Uyewoga, thank you for joining us. David, thank you for joining us. Gideon Ajibola, thank you. Priscilla, thank you. Oluwasegun and Francis, thank you. See you another time.
Thank you so much. See you all. Bye for now.